Aloha, Yogi.
Hello,
I have a quick question for you.
go ahead, my dear.
I want to ask you, does the disciple find the guru or the guru accepts the disciple?
Okay, so your question is guru finds the disciple or disciple finds the guru?
Yeah, or
There's
whose
there's been
decision?
many scenarios in life. Is all depending on the not the circumstances, but more like a era. A era defines the state of mind of people. Okay. So they you say the in Bhagavad Gita, the time of Bhagavad Gita was very different. The era of Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Lord Krishna was very different era. Okay, where the Krishna is not asking Arjuna to seek something. He clearly take authority, tells him, "Come to my shelter." Okay, I will just follow me, do what I say, and then just take it. But nowadays, that the era was devotion, yeah, the bhakti. Now the if you somebody who have devotion, yeah, and there is a surrenderness which is will really lack in this present state of time, and we lack acceptance. We like to have acceptance, but we don't really have acceptance. Okay. We think we are accepting, we don't. If that is the case, we will not fight with our mind because there will be a lots of different scenarios of acceptance. And if somebody is coming with a s- judgmental of whatever has been said in constant comparison, which is let's take it utilizing the buddhi, which is a intellect. Yeah. So that means you are analyzing, you are critical thinking, and then you thinking that this person have ego. Is it the right person or wrong person? But in the not in terms of when it comes to a knowledge and teacher, there's been many teacher is actually only a symbolism or a the point of reference that can ignite all the best and the greatness within, and then it can become a vehicle and a mode to lead you to the direction the way you can be a greater human being or to discover your own dharma, and then you apply the dharma into your karmic reality and in your karma. So I was talking now that if you are talking about modern days, Guru doesn't actually even says, "Take my shelter." Said, "Okay." The Krishna is the authority saying, "Come to my shelter. I will take care. Don't worry about. Forget everything." Yeah, because that is the era of surrender. The bhakti is coming from place of devotion. But if you have a student who is intellectually, you want to always say, "No, please let the student decide to take their journey, what fulfills in their path, and what aligns with their level of intelligence, what aligns with their um, now question arrived, do they really know? If they have known, they will not be needing it. But they are very certain. They then talk about Buddha, an era of Buddha and Mahavira, which is few thousand years back. Krishna talks about take my shelter, I take care of it, and with full uh, uh, assertiveness, where the Buddha doesn't even say that. student saying that I am going to the shelter of Buddha. Okay. Then similarly, Mahavira is also not saying anything. He come to the shelter. Okay. Any religious people, a modern concept I'm talking about, including Christianity. But there is a different. There's one person who went actually further. Mahavira, which is the Jain Tirthankar. So he doesn't even say. He didn't say, "Come to my shelter." He said, "You student is not actually going to the shelter, but receiving, accepting the shelter." So there's two things. One is a beginning. I'm going to the teacher, or I am at the surrender or the recipient, or receiving the shelter of a teacher. The, both ways, the student is going, but one is in the beginning, one is in the end. So when you're starting first step or you're making your journey, there's chances your tricky mind or your bickering mind or your uncertain mind or your discomfort in the process in the journey may say, okay, I'm done with it. I don't want to. You walk away. So you may start the journey, but you never actually arrive at the journey. So there is we have different words in Sanskrit. The one is Buddha said the Buddham Saranam Gacchami or Sangham Saranam Gacchami or Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. And the Mahavira says the Siddham Saranam Pravarjami, like you actually going to the shelter, you have arrived, not you accepting. You're not beginning, you are accepting. So he completely surrendered, but he don't even say it. He remains silent. But in modern present, if you I tell you example, somebody asks you, are you a enlightened person? If you remain quiet, they think, oh, he's actually saying silently, yes, I am enlightened. Yeah. Because the not making any statement, you silently agreeing to somebody what somebody is saying. Isn't that the case? It presents like it's a silent agreeing what somebody's saying. So you don't actually saying yes or no, but you have to literally say no, 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 no. Please go to your own shelter. Basically, you have to push the person away from you and saying this person is real, because you have to make a drama to make it look like the ego is bigger. So, in my opinion, the teacher you find. There's something I give you my story of me finding. I had several teachers in my life, several teachers, and each teacher led me to they guided to a teacher to go to, because say I can't, but you go there, you will find something, and then we can practice together. And not you leave me, we can practice together. So the majority of my the teachers, I became a very good fellowship, you can call them with, or became a very good connective with them. Yeah. There was a once I had a teacher. He said he didn't know anything. So it took me 2.5 years to discover, to convince him to teach, and then it took him like the very long, rigorous process to go through it, actually to learn anything. But despite he did not teach in a verbal transmission, no verbal transmission, completely silent and practice in the terms of practice and the observing. Then in his presence, never mind actually learning, within being in his presence, there was lots of transformation took place. Lots of transformation, awareness, alertness, because when you are in the auric field of the very awakened being, and your vibration, your auric field also start vibrating in different level. It start clearing many karmas. So that's the reason called Sangham Saranam Gacchami. So in Buddhism, when saying Sangham, Sangham is the like-mindedness or the togetherness, the unity. So in a spiritual part, they even say it's like you should not actually hang out other than your spiritual aspirant people who's actually aspiring on similar path. Otherwise, it actually the pulls your qualitative nature. You may not see it anything different, but it drags you down in your energetic level. I give you one living example of it. We all know Hare Krishna, yeah, community. Yeah, there's a many of the within the Hare Krishna community at present. Their association was either very spiritual within the Sangha collectiveness, but similarly, they are also hanging out with people who is non that aspire to be spiritual, and they have had many issues with within the due to that region. So personally, I would suggest they say if you hang out with alcoholic person, you may not drink alcohol, but you may start behaving like one little bit time to time. You will pick up certain level of slang in terms of communication, in terms of uh, behavior person behavioral habits. So if that can have a such impact, now we are talking about very fine tuned, a subtle perspective of it. Yeah. So when you I that then was one teacher where I was learning the sastras. We have in Sanatana Dharma we have Vedic system. We have Vedas, Upanishads, and Sastras, and then we have Puranas, and there's different literature in terms of studying. So I was studying Upanishads with one of the teacher I liked. He became a monk at the age of 8. Basically, he became a sannyasi. He left the he went with his mom to visit one ashram, and he decided he never want to leave. He just stayed along with the river Ganga, and he stayed in the ashram studying Sanskrit, and he did not go to the formal education. So he just only learned to read and write Sanskrit, and that's all he did. Nothing else. No mathematics, no science, no physics, no chemistry, but understanding of the Upanishads and within the principles of your multiverse as well as in your quantum physics level, very in-depth understanding. So the I was meditating once, I think it was 2003 or 2002, I think, and eh, by riverbank, and he was giving a lecture, and his hall was quite big, and he was giving lecture. But I was trying to meditate, but I couldn't meditate because I was keep getting pulled upon by his voice and the message. Yeah. So I get up from my meditation. I walk towards to his ashram. I stay outside the door because I don't know can I go inside or not. And door was closed. I was listening when the lecture finished, and there was so many people came out of it, and I saw that many monks, many sannyasis who are well known. There were many elderly sannyasis, many other people there. I said, what actually happening in there? So, but then I go to see the whole next day I visited. There was a 250 to 300 people. No fan, no air conditioning, middle of the summer, and everybody was fanning each other, and the person was uh, quietly giving his lecture in Sangha. I went, I asked for initiation. I went along for 2-3 weeks, and 3 weeks later, I asked, "Can I get initiation?" And he gave me come that day on a full moon. It was Amavas, I think not full moon, new moon. Come on the new moon, take a bath in Ganga at 4:30. It's cold. The Ganga water is always cold. At 4:30 in the morning, don't dry it. Come in the wet clothes after taking the bath and bring some flowers. So I go take a darshan. It's you can call it is a not. It makes no difference to the getting initiation or have to take bath or having the flowers, but is the principle that how much one is aspired to, how much you willing to surrender your ego and your judgment. And the becoming a student is not exchange of money. We think nowadays is a student is a you pay the money, I get it. No. So I never paid a single penny to my any of my teacher, but I did so much service that the modern student at present I ask they can't. So far in my understanding, I have not managed to find one without having the uh, chip on the shoulder or without having the ego get hurt and their venomous mind comes along. So far, I have had almost 300 students, and the more than 300 students I have trained in my life in terms of training perspective. Practitioners, thousands of them, but not find a single one who is now driven by the greed of learning. Remember the greed of learning. I'm talking about word greed. It can be greed for spirituality even. So there is a different aspect of it. And I had the I was waiting is about surrendering. It's about acceptance. It's not surrendering to, but surrendering to your own ego, surrendering to your sense, greed, judgment, egotistic nature, lack the how great I am within the students itself. So there are many qualitative understanding of it. Yeah. So when you saying that if you can find a teacher or teacher finds you, it can go both ways. One place I have found teacher was looking for me, and I had a great learning session with him, a great understanding. Then before I to be very me, I'm only going to take the best students, yeah, in my life. Yeah, there was a one time my ego was rocket high that I thought I was the best teacher. I don't think anymore. I think I want to be the best being as one can be. Okay. So at that time, I was saying I'm only going to teach the best student who's really, really eager, going to learn, la 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 la. And there was like big checklist I had. Then I meeting also my student with a greater checklist than mine. I was talking to my teacher. My teacher said like there's you're looking for a great student. Is imagine like you're looking for perfectly polished diamond in the coal mine. His analogy was you're looking for a perfectly cut, beautifully polished, ready to go diamond in the coal mine. In coal mine, it's never gonna happen. So you have to collect all the stones. You have to go through the rigorous process, and then some of them you think they're gonna be perfect. You may find even a cloud in them. You may lose the quality. When you treat it, may crack, may develop many defaults in them. So, but you cannot stop teaching in depth because you are only looking for the one. Since then, I dropped that idea that I'm going to only teach to the best student. Everybody learn, whoever can take what they can, they go along in their life and they make the best out of it. And the one day, the one might continue the path of the self-transformation. It's not when you're looking for a student, is not they will make you proud. Is about somebody who seriously want to have a self-transformation, understand, and try to but many subtle intervenes of the buddhi, collective information. Collective information comes hindrance, which is the brittis as well, not from this lifetime, but previous lifetimes as well. So it's very hard. And now I hope that answers your question. If you're looking that you have found a teacher, I can prove you wrong very easily. I just need to do push you a bit more further and a bit more harder in the practice. I give you example. There was the one of my very dear student, is still my dear student. We were in India doing a training, and he said the best thing have ever happened to him. They found me, and he said, "I love you, Yogi ji, so much. You are the best person I have ever met. You are the best teacher." I said, "Really?" I said, he tried. I said, "Really?" I said, "Thank you." Then 2 days goes along, and when I'm teaching, I don't really think about breakfast, lunch, or dinner time, whatever it is. We started 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30. We carried on. We have usually a 9 o'clock breakfast. We push the breakfast. The now breakfast is gone, and now the guy from kitchen staff coming along. Breakfast ready. I said we are working. We doing better. We having a greater food than the third dimension food. And then they were carried on. We go to the lunchtime. Lunchtime is 12:30. Lunch is gone. Now it's coming to 1 o'clock. I'm still teaching. And the 1:15, the guy said, well, lunch is getting late because staff have to leave. I said, lunch can wait, no problem. We're teaching 1:30. I said, let's have a lunch break. Then before we having lunch break, 25 or 30% they get up, they're ready to run. I said, I'm still sitting in the sala. I'm still sitting in the sala. I'm still teaching from my asana, my seat, basically. And because we have a sankalpa sakti. When you're teaching, you are not reading either from book pages. Yeah. Sometimes it is a verbal transmission of information and the knowledge. And as a teacher, you sit down, you take a sankalpa sakti that I'm going to stay there till when you take a mantra, then you get out from the. You don't just get up whenever you feel like it. So you have the gratitude to all the teachers who have aspired to be able to do what you are doing. So that is your final samarpan, like last ahuti mantra. You do it. Invocation you can call it. Yeah. Now I say I'm still sitting in the chair. Please, in my ashram. Please, can you remain seated? And the person carried on walking. I said, I'm still got some information. He said, then the person got swearing coming out of him. The person swearing. I said, I thought the person said, I thought you said you love me. And the best thing ever happened to me 2 days ago. He said, I'm the best teacher. And the best thing that have ever happened to you is meet me and find a right best teacher and a good teacher. And now you are swearing. What happened to all that love? You find a teacher, but teacher can push you to the limits is a very different story. I have had many scenarios myself. I had a teacher, we were meditating, he just locked the door behind. Now I can panic or accept it. Okay. Then we practicing, he teaching alertness, not to, when you meditate, what happened? You just drift off. You want to go travel the world. Be body, where you want to travel to? No. So that you want to drift, you want to disassociate from your present reality. Transformation only can take place when you are with yourself in the present real time moment. Yeah. Then he used to hit basically. He said, I will hit you If you check out, then he said, I will hit you for no reason, to just remain alert and attentive. If can you imagine if you do that in modern day to anybody, even you can't even adjust, despite somebody might be even injuring the body, you can't actually adjust them without taking the consent. By the time you have taken the consent, they have already injured themselves. So you have to take the consent, then you have to explain them what you are going to adjust them. It's a different world. You will be prosecuted for the physical abuse. But I don't think my teacher did physical abuse to me. He did the best thing ever. Because me constantly transcending is not going to make a difference. I have to transcend in. I have to bring in whatever can come into my body, me as running away. It's different, a different process. So I can run away, but I could have run away that day, but I stayed to practice. And then he said, not many people have gone through what you have done. So it's depend. It's all depend, Maribel. If you can think that you have find the teacher, many time you have said that you found the teacher, but you only starting. Remember the step I said, you are going towards to study, or you accepting as a teacher. Two separate things. Okay. So in time you will find, continue practicing. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, you have. And can I have a follow-up question on this subject?
Go
Can
ahead.
one be initiated more than once, or you can only be initiated one time?
Pardon?
Regarding initiation, can you
Mhm.
be initiated only one time or several times?
Within the initiations is a almost like your grading, yeah, grading. I had my Brahman Dikya, which is also initiation. Okay. Then you had a Grast Dikya, is your family initiation. Then you had your name, Nam, like the Namkaran Dikya, like when you get given name, that is initiation. Then you have a Mantra Dikya, you get mantra initiation. Then you have a Yajna which is like you wear Brahman thread initiation, that is a initiation. Then you get the Banprasth, you get Sannyasa. There is different stages. But if you're talking in terms of initiation of a the transmissions, that is also different. If you're talking in terms of okay, today I want to have the Buddhist practice, then I want to go the Christianity practice, then I want to go to the satanic practices, then I want to go Hare Krishna practices, then I want to go to the like shopping mall of spirituality. That is also many people does. But I have not done that in my life, so it's very different. Only path I have stayed is to understand my dharma, the always being the understanding my dharma, no matter how it can be, but staying within that my path, aligning my dharma and karma together as one can. And once you find it's very different. People say your life turned 360. I say your life turned 180. 180.
180 and not 360.
Let's say what you think like one day what makes you feel very good, once you understand it, may not make you feel very good, completely opposite interest. Yeah. Okay. 180, not 360 means you back to star one where you started. 360 is basically you come back where you were. So I'm talking about 180, opposite completely, understanding the perception, alteration of understanding. What makes other people happy may not make you happy, but you have to fit in the society. So you start constantly having the inner battle that I don't have what others have, and I want to have the same as others have, what others judging. But no, it's your understanding, your dharma is different to theirs. Your path is different to theirs. So you can't. You can't be in the same boat. Is a very different. So one like a river bank, the one side is going to the material, one going to spiritual. Okay. So both going two different directions. But I think once you reach and you lose your association with the spirituality and material, you can completely drop the identity of it. So I always say it's like the bottom of the river is the bed is the same as the right side and the left side. As the river is flowing, you say one side is spiritual, one side material. Okay? But when you see the river beds meeting together, is actually the same. No difference to it. But that means you have to dive really deep. You don't have to go to spirituality, materialism. You have to dive deeper inside to understand your breathes, understand your ego, understand your limitation, understand how your senses controls you, understand how your senses are driven, and how much sense serving nature one have, how much attachment one have. So all those there's the one is the ahimsa, is a non-violence, tapa is self purification constantly. Though nowadays, when you talk about purification, the many monks I've seen, they put fire circle around them, they sit down in the middle. Think by putting heating your body will purify you. It doesn't really do anything. It's just a drama. I tell you the most one part of it. Truth is the truth. It may shatter many people's dream, but it's the truth. So, but you supposed to put the fire of your dharma around you, and you remain in the middle. That what will purify, but not the fire itself. So the tapa, ahimsa, and the constant understanding of dharma, which is you can call it receptivity. Receptivity, you have to be really open. You should be filled with karma. Karma is basically a compassion, not a mercy. Filled with compassion. Mercy is almost like a pity. The karuna is very different. Should be filled with a compassion. So there are several things. The path have a many ups and downs. Path have many ups and downs, but you continue to it. So does it make any clear clarity to you? Okay.
Thank you, Yogi.
On that note, I think that is enough for today. I hope I made as clear as I can. Thank you. Namaste, Pranam. I am actually in India today. It's very beautiful and quite windy and late as well. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good night. Thank you, Michelle.
Good night. Thank you. Thank you,
Aloha.
Andres. Thank you, Sheila.